Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be looking at a game between FXO Leenock and Mouse ThorZaIN. This is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, ThorZaIN versus Leenock here on the map GSL Daybreak. Let's get things underway, starting off with some tournament information. FXO Leenock spawning in the lower left-hand spawn position as our red Zerg player. Recently took first place at the ESV TV Korean Weekly S2 number 1. This was in January this year. And then in December of 2011, he took second place at the 2011 GSL November Code S. I don't know, I had a hard time with that. Sometimes, man, I tell you, I just step all over my own words. Not literally, just figuratively. In the upper right-hand spawn location, we've got our blue Terran player, ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN took third place at the Gathering 2012. That was actually just a few days ago. Also took second place at the MSI Pro Cup number 8, and that was in the end of March of this year, 2012. Let's hop into the game, though. Taking a look at a drone scout moving out very early here for Leenock. He is pretty much immediately pushing out to get some scouting intel. Looks like he's also even checking for some proxies here, looking for a possible hidden proxy Rax. Now as he moves up into the main, what he is going to spot is a Rax building up there by the command center. Also very notable is that the fact that there is no gas at the moment. And so with this, we can probably assume a 1 Rax expand here from our buddy ThorZaIN. Oh, never mind, there we go. There goes the refinery getting dropped down. So just a delayed refinery as opposed to that 1 Rax expand style of build. And Leenock probably just going to chill out here for as long as possible just to confirm that this is actually going to finish and it won't be canceled off by ThorZaIN. Again, he's got a bit of time until that first Marine is out, so he really can chill out here until that does complete. And there we go, it does finish. Refinery up and starting to get saturated right now there by ThorZaIN, and with that first Marine coming out, it will be time for Leenock to hightail it out of there. No reason to stay any longer than he already has. Leenock just now dropping his spawning pool, his extractor already up and saturated. This will allow him to get metabolic boost as soon as that spawning pool finishes. As we can see, he did go hatch first, as that is about 3/4 of the way complete right now. ThorZaIN's first Marine checking for any hidden drone scouts, wants to make sure he's not going to be sneaking in for secondary scouting. And here comes that expansion. So it still is a 1 Rax expand, however he has thrown gas into the mix. Now with this, we're going to assume that he's actually going to be getting a factory soon, and quite likely getting some Hellions for early game map control. So we'll have to keep an eye on that next production building, but again, we are of course going to assume that that factory is coming just one moment, as opposed to like say a tech lab with upgrades or something like that. Much less probable, and there's the factory. So dropping the factory, and then we will be seeing a reactor here on this Rax as well. And what this will enable ThorZaIN to do is that once that factory finishes, he does that hot swap and gets those double Hellions out nice and early, letting him get some map control against those Zerglings early on. Leenock getting the double Queens, also droning up quite hard right now. In fact, I don't even think he's gotten any. No, he has not gotten any Zerglings at all. So foregoing those Zerglings early on here to just drone up a bit harder. As we can see, there is no early aggression coming from ThorZaIN, so it's not like that is anything that Leenock needed those early links to scout out for. And check this out, ThorZaIN with the 3rd command center nice and early. This will allow him, once this is finished, it will be an orbital command, and it will allow him to use mules and the extra SCV production to saturate that main as well as that natural. And then as he works his way up to a respectable army, he'll eventually move into that 3rd. But early on, this will just be used for SCV and mule production. Here come those double Hellions. Those will be moving out and taking map control in just one moment. You can see the metabolic boost is near finished. Only a few Zerglings early on with these first 2, and then 4 additional ones did just pop, giving us a total of, wait, there are 12 lings, so there were some additional ones right here before I saw those ones in production. So a fair amount of lings early on. It would be certainly enough to deal with 2 Hellions, but if he works his way up to more, which he is going to be doing, then it is going to be a little more difficult there for Leenock. So the first 2 Hellions moving across the map, and again, they will be getting the map control against a small amount of lings. If we see an attempt to surround here from Leenock, though, he could actually overwhelm these. Let's see what he tries to do. Not going to engage quite as of yet. Just to make sure he's getting proper positioning and everything like that. The lings actually going to be bypassing there and working their way straight into that natural expansion. So going to be going for a little bit of a counter-aggression here. assuming that ThorZaIN has map control and has the tower, so he's just trying to make sure he can circumvent that. More and more Lings coming out here for Leenock. More Hellion production as well for ThorZaIN. But again, here come those Lings bypassing the Hellions in the center of the map. Now this will be scouting and also trying to do a bit of damage. Let's see what he can do here. Tries to get around on those Hellions. Gets 2 of them. Needs to be very wary of that group of 4. He is going to be dropped, but let's see how much damage he can do in the meantime. Probably won't be too much. He's just going to be dancing around, trying to get some scouting. Depots get lifted up, trapping these Zerglings in the main, and that will allow those Hellions to finally take care of them. Trying to get a few shots off before they get dropped. So not able to do too much damage. Taking a look at the resources lost, we can see Leenock is actually behind right now, but he did get a nice scout, was able to see all the production, and the most notable thing is he's going to see those 2 factories and a notable lack of racks with just that one barracks right there. And that is going to tell him that he is going to be dealing with some mech play from ThorZaIN. So now he knows I am up against mech, and now he can plan accordingly. Third base getting dropped over here. We got a Roachborn coming out as well. See, Carapace level 1 upgrade. Zerglings trying to sneak their way back in, able to force those SCVs to pull off the line, and going to be able to do a little bit of damage up here, but the Hellions pulling back will be able to deal with those and quickly take out these as well. So all he really did there was disrupt a little bit of the mining from those SCVs, again forcing them off the line. And that also forced those Hellions back, which is fairly decent, allowing Leenock to continue to spread his creep without worrying about those Hellions dropping it or anything fanciful like that. So we do have, again, as expected, that mech style play coming from ThorZaIN. Another factory getting laid down. Armory will, of course, allow for his mech unit upgrades. Probably be seeing that first upgrade right away. Massing up those Hellions and tanks, and eventually also moving into Thors. Third is now up here for Leenock. Should be working to saturate that in one moment. We've got some roach play coming out for him as well. At the moment, sitting on 2 roaches with a few more getting ready to pop. And again, there's that level 1 vehicle upgrade coming out here for ThorZaIN. Now the good thing here for ThorZaIN is that with these Hellions, he will be able to maintain map control against just the Zerglings. It's the roaches that he will have a lot more difficulty against. One thing to keep in mind with mech style play as well, it's a lot less mobile. It's not as if you're going marine tank and you're able to consistently do those stim marine drops and back a resource lines. You don't really have that opportunity with this mech style of play. But what ThorZaIN can do is use those Hellions for Hellion run-bys to try to devastate an economy, and that could actually force Leenock to drop some spine crawlers at most of his bases. Although he hasn't really done that yet. Could be happening in the future if he starts to deal with some Hellion harass from ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN, as expected, Hellion, tank, and Thor is what he will be coming with. What? Huh? ThorZaIN coming out with another expansion as well. 2 more factories, and now finally dropping his 3rd as he has fully saturated that main in the natural. We do have a barracks scout moving out for ThorZaIN. Again, he doesn't really need that building anymore, so just will be moving out with that to get some scouting done instead of being, using up energy from the orbital command that could otherwise be, of course, a mule. Overseer Scout freely moving on in that Thor, not doing too much damage to him. He can actually just walk right by and continue to get some scouting info. He is going to see those 2 additional building factories as well as this another additional command center coming out. We have another base coming out here for Leenock as well, continuing up that creep spread. Also, as we spotted over here earlier, we do have that Spire coming through that is just about finished for Leenock, and right now he is just pretty much primarily sitting on roaches. Although a very small army at the moment, he is more focused on his macro, getting those upgrades and everything like that. Missile attack level 1 as well as the Glow Reconstitution, which is that speed upgrade for the roaches. We did also start, oh there it is, the Flying Carapace. So that is going to be for his air units. Infestation Pit coming out here for Leenock as well. So just a bunch of macro really from both players, and not a lot of aggression at all. Really pretty much no aggression whatsoever to speak of from either player right now. Some scouting Hellions will be moving up, spotting this expansion. Gonna get a few free drone kills. Oh boy, that hurts. That hurts Leenock quite a bit. Roaches will be moving up to deal with that, but he took a loss right there. Losing 13 workers total so far this game. Nice little hit there from ThorZaIN. Absolutely in love with the creep spread here that we are seeing from Leenock. He's doing a phenomenal job. Mutas will be forcing this barracks scout back. Patrolling Hellion gets dropped as well from the Mutas. We do have Hive Tech coming on through. Hellions for ThorZaIN continuing to dance around here. You got not a lot of aggression from either player. Racks will get dropped. This is the most exciting thing going on right now. So why don't we watch it? See you later. Alright, Mutas now should be moving out to kind of test the water, see what they can do for damage. Missile turrets and Thors are going to be problematic for Mutalisk, so this is likely to be used for a lot of scouting and trying to do some of this damage. Hellions in the center of the map, very vulnerable to those Mutas, and he's able to kill off a few right there. Leenock is still behind in this game, but still getting himself back up there a bit. 100 minerals lost per kill there. Beautiful. More Hellions trying to move in to do some damage. Let's see what he's able to do. We will be seeing those spines come down as predicted to help deal with this. Yeah, Blue Flame can do a lot of damage, but really doesn't get too many more kills there. Let's take another look here. He was at 13 before, so only killed 3 workers there. He's got a total of 16 workers killed so far this game. Just keep checking the vision here. Just want to make sure there's absolutely nothing going on, really, for aggression at all. Mutas will be temporarily denying ThorZaIN from taking the center map expansion. However, with these Thors coming down, that should be forcing those Mutalisks back, even with a magic box, 2 Thors, plus a couple of SCVs to repair. And it can be an issue. It doesn't exactly have a tremendous amount of Mutalisks with only 6 in play. 90 drones, though, huh? What an income that we have here for Leenock. Taking a quick look at that. Yeah, pretty strong income going for both players, to be quite honest. ThorZaIN setting up shop now in the center of the map. Bulk of his army moving to defend. Hellions, tanks, and Thors. Probably getting a planetary here. That's what I would expect. Do have a center of the map expansion also coming out here for Leenock. Do want to keep an eye on ThorZaIN's vision because he is very likely to do small groups of Hellion run-bys every now and then. So I'm trying to make sure we're checking that every so often. Speaking of Hellions, see you later, buddy. Adios. Planetary Fortress at the center of the map. Additional Thor production coming out. Another command center also being built. Also transitioning into starports now. He will be doing this to deal with the likelihood of Broodlords. And of course, as we can see, Greater Spire did just finish, and Broodlords is what we will be seeing here from Leenock. Now I'm quite a bit sad that so far this game there hasn't been a lot of action, to be honest. It's really been a macro-focused game. That's not a bad thing, but it isn't the most exciting thing either. So I hope if you're watching this that you enjoy macro-style games, because that is what we've got. Roach is preparing to move in from this direction. Looks like, yeah, he's going to be walking down, trying to do some damage. Pick off a tank or two, huh? There's 2. We'll be bypassing the stationary tanks over there and continuing to push on forward. Right into the resource line, trying to kill off some SCVs. 6 workers killed so far this game for Leenock. A couple more over here. Just try to target fire down those SCVs before he loses those roaches. Total of 12 workers killed, so evening up those numbers a little bit. 12 as opposed to 16 resource lost-wise. Leenock is still behind about 1,000 resources. Here come the Broodlords. And to counteract those Broodlords, we will be seeing Vikings. Beautiful scan there by ThorZaIN as he spots all of those Broodlords, dropping dem Broodlings, killing off the destructible debris in the center of the map and preparing to continue to push. We've got 4 Vikings in play with additional Vikings coming forward. Now what's going to happen here is Leenock will attempt to fungal growth those Vikings and drop some infested Terrans to stop them from killing off the Broodlords. The Thors aren't really that great unless those Broodlords are extremely clumped up. Speedling aggression also moving into this expansion right here. That's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Now here come those Broodlords continuing to push forward. Thors and Vikings should be engaging at the same time. Here come those Infestors as well. Again, we'll be trying to drop some fungal growth, dropping infested Terrans. Speedling's doing a lot of damage over here. I think he's killed off quite a few workers. 23 workers killed so far this game for Leenock, as he was able to do a bit of damage there. However, in the center of the map, he has just lost all of his Broodlords. He's able to get a fungal on that group, but really, that's pretty painful right there. Let's take a look at the resources lost. Yeah, Leenock really did not do well in that transaction. You can see he's much further behind than he was prior to that point. So that engagement in the middle did not go quite the way he liked to. You saw a beautiful spread there from ThorZaIN. Thors all over the place in a nice arc, as well as all of those Vikings. With this number of Vikings, it'll be very difficult for Leenock to really use those Broodlords effectively. Here comes a Hellion attack moving forward here for ThorZaIN. We'll be forcing all these drones off the line. So many spines. He will be losing a few workers as those Blue Flame Hellions are able to get a few shots off. Still, though, Leenock's counterattack with those Speedlings was able to do quite a bit of damage. And we do have another one of those moving forward right here into ThorZaIN's third base again. A couple Speedlings pulling down here. However, that is a planetary, so won't be able to do much over there. And he tries to move up here with those Lings, but that gets dropped as well from those Hellions. Speedlings forced back as all the Thors over here, plus we get that planetary out. And we'll take care of that. One more Spieling gets mopped up right over there. Another scan. Check. Wow, so many Broodlords. 7 more coming through. 5 in play already. That's going to give us 12. Yes, math. I passed it. So many Vikings, though. This is going to be a problem. Look at this. 13 Vikings in play with 6 more in productions. Beautiful counter, of course, to those Broodlords. Now, the only danger here is if ThorZaIN gets trapped in a fungal, couple of fungals from some of those infestors. That could be a problem. So many Broodlords, though. Corruptors, of course, will also be a strong counter to those Vikings. So that is another great response that we are seeing there from Leenock. I want to take a look at the upgrades here. 2 Carpus upgrades for those area units. Now, we got 3 weapons for the ground and the air as well. They're level 1 weapon upgrade. Here comes the push, though. Moving forward right now. Corruptors, Broodlords. Got some Queens for transfuse. Fungal growth going down on the Vikings. Plus the Corruptors trying to do what damage he can, but looks like the Vikings do persist throughout that engagement, able to push back the rest of these Broodlords, force them back to some reinforcements. Not enough to really get any more fungals down right now, and ThorZaIN is looking strong here. We'll be continuing to push back this force. Leenock, again, not doing so well in that engagement. He is significantly behind ThorZaIN right now, and this is an issue. ThorZaIN could probably continue his push, setting up that siege line to work through those spines. Allow him to slowly push forward with those Thors as well. Got a Speedling transition here, trying to push forward and do some damage. Gonna be able to get a couple of these tanks, quite possibly. Not enough damage. Not quite enough damage. Corruptors moving forward to try to take out some of those Vikings, allowing him to move back into Broodlords, but I don't know if that's going to happen here. Clumping up those Corruptors, it's going to allow those Thors to do a bit of splash damage. Thor's also focusing down at these Roaches, and ThorZaIN does continue to push. He will drop this expansion, no question about that. That is happening in just one moment. Expansion is gone. Leenock will be forced back and only mining at this point on 2.5 bases. The main is pretty much fully mined out. This is dropped. That's a problem here. ThorZaIN does have a strong economy going. Leenock's going to struggle to be able to take this out. I would like to see some more counterattacks. That will certainly be very wise. And here we go. A couple of Roaches moving down. Kill off a few workers. Do a bit of damage. Why not? He is still, of course, significantly behind. So far behind. Oh, boy, Leenock. Very, very far behind this game. He's got a long way to get himself back into this. Trying to drop this expansion well. We got 21 Roaches coming forward. A bunch of Roaches over here. Here comes the counterattacks as Leenock realizing he's going to have a very difficult time engaging this army with 1-3 upgrades, additional upgrades coming out here as well. Might as well try to move down for some counter aggression, do some damage. Is he going to go straight for the central expansion? There we go. Already lost this base over here. Roaches continue to move. They're actually going straight into the natural here, forcing some SCVs off the line. Again, the problem with this style of play is that it is so very slow and it's hard to deal with this type of counter-aggression. Let's see what's going to happen here. Roaches moving down. We'll be taking out all those tanks. Now going for those SCVs, forcing the Vikings to lift off. The Vikings don't stand a chance. ThorZaIN, rather than taking the slow trek back home, will be staying here and continuing to push. Now moving into the 3rd expansion. Dropping down his Vikings to do some extra ground damage. Thors continue to push their way through. We got the Roaches over here still doing some damage. Roaches trying to do damage over here. However, SCV repair plus that planetary is going to prevent him from losing that expansion. This one gets dropped, now down to just 2 hatcheries. Leenock coming out with some more Roaches. He can't defend at all against this, though. He has slowly been whittling down these forces, however. So who knows, maybe one last final engagement, manages to push forward. He gets right up under the Thors. The Roaches, are you kidding me? Going to drop the Thors and the tank, forcing the Vikings to land, and he takes the entire offensive force of Leenock and drops it. Excellent there. No, I'm sorry. He took the entire offensive force of ThorZaIN and dropped it. So excellent play there by Leenock, but still, is that enough? That's the question. Still severely far behind. We'll be dropping a hatch in the center of the map. Hellions get dropped. Continued Roach aggression pushing forward. Walking into the tank line. About to lose some of those Roaches. We got some more Thors also moving down. Yeah, he's about to lose all those Roaches. Corruptors also pushing forward to take out these Vikings. All the roaches gone. Leenock calls the GG, and you know what? That was a great engagement. The problem here for Leenock, though, was just the fact that his income was shot. Also, as we can see over here, some Banshee play transition from ThorZaIN, preventing him from getting up this base as well. That was a major problem. The biggest thing at the end of the game was the fact that ThorZaIN did have that solid income, able to protect this expansion because of that planetary. Great game, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Excellent game here between ThorZaIN and Leenock. Once again, I hope you guys did enjoy the commentary. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching, keep owning.